Hello, and thank you for joining us for our Sports Rehabilitation and Conditioning talk today. My name is Laura, and I'm the Student Engagement Officer at Marjon, and I'm going to be hosting your session. Presenting today, we have Sarah Catlow, who is a Senior Lecturer and the Programme Leader. We have two student ambassadors with us today. We have Kelly and Lucy, and they are going to help answer any questions that you have for us. To ask a question, please head over to the question bar, which is now live. This looks like a speech bubble with a question mark in the middle of it. I'll be asking your questions to the team at the end of the presentation, so send any questions in whenever you're ready. But for now, I'm going to pass you over to Sarah.
Thank you, Laura. Welcome to this new way of delivering information to everybody. So I hope everyone is safe and well. Today I'm going to talk about sports rehabilitation and conditioning degree. So this is a brand new degree which replaces our rehabilitation and sport and exercise degree. So basically we have looked at what's going on in the industry and kind of updated the degree with lots of new content that will make you more employable out in the world. So I'll talk you through what's going to happen with our degree. So just a few kind of stats up on here. About the university in general. We're very lucky within our rehabilitation team. We have a very, very small team. So we have 3 staff members who are full-time, 2 who are part-time, and we have 2 full-time members who look after our commercial clinic for us. So we get to know you very, very well on the degree, and all of the staff teach across all years. So here are my contact details. I know you might want to ask some questions during this presentation, or you might go away and think about a few things and think, actually, I wish I really asked that question. So there is my email address. So please feel free to drop me an email if you've got any questions about anything, and I will hopefully be able to answer them for you. We are very active on social media, so please feel free to join some of our social media pages, and that'll give you a little bit of a taste of both our sports therapy and our rehabilitation programs and what we've been doing this year with our students, kind of the changes and the things that we put in due to what's going on in the world right now. So we've got a Twitter page. We've also got a rehabilitation clinic page where we put all our clinic information. We also have a closed group on Facebook where for our students, so that's a range of our master's students and our undergrad and our new applicants. So please follow us on there. Lots of interesting stuff is going up. And we have our Instagram page as well. So just to talk a little bit about the program will be accredited by Bazarat, which is the only kind of accrediting body in the UK that kind of gives us the rubber stamp on rehabilitation programs. So at the minute in the UK, there's only roughly 17 programs that are accredited by Bazarat. We also work with the Professional Standards Authority, which is an accredited register, where students, when they graduate, can obviously automatically get membership to Bazarat and will be on this register. Within the degree, we have many different extra qualifications that are embedded. So we have a gym instructor qualification that happens in year 1. We have a personal training qualification, which we have put into year 2. We have our soft tissue module, which is FHT accredited. So at the end of year 1, you can actually go out and practice as a massage therapist. And we have the RFU level 2 pre-hospital care course in year 3. So lots of extra qualifications as well as your degree. I'm going to talk you through the new degree. As I said before, it has just been written. And we have reflected the change of industry and added lots of new exciting content within this new degree. So I'll talk you through each module, kind of explain what goes on in each module, a little bit about assessments, and kind of a little bit about kind of our clinical placements. So we have a functional anatomy for sports therapy and rehabilitation students. This is a semester A module. It's a really hands-on module. So we look at every bone, every little bump on the bone, every muscle. So we can be able to diagnose injuries. So if an athlete says, I've got a pain in my knee, we know what structures are there. So we do that in semester A. We have a practical exam for that. So we have what we call bell ringers. So we have lower limb and upper limb, and basically it's just stations, and you have live models, you'll have skeletons, you'll have pictures, and then we do a online multiple choice exam as well. We have patient management and musculoskeletal assessment. So these kind of look at soft tissue techniques. So we look at our massage, how we treat patients, how we stretch patients, what massage techniques can we use. We also talk a lot about the accrediting body and kind of the ethics behind our profession. So how do we take notes on patients? What kind of questions do we ask them? And obviously all the other ethical considerations. In musculoskeletal assessment, we teach you how to assess a joint. So how do we know if a joint is normal or not, and what injury could it be? So we'll teach you all those special tests, all those orthopedic tests. We look at personal and professional development. So again, with this, we teach you how to write. It's quite a big jump between A-level BTEC and a degree program. So we teach you how to research information, how to write academically, how to find those references. And we talk a little bit more about our career and our profession within that as well. Anatomy and physiology, I always get asked the question, what is the difference between a rehabber and a physio? So we both have the knowledge to be able to look at injuries and diagnose them and treat them, but the slight difference is our physiology knowledge. So we'll be able to take someone and rehab them back to a high level standard. So we have a great BASIS accredited lab on site with lots of equipment. And we can actually work, so we can VO2 max, we can lactate threshold, we can put them in an altitude chamber and take them up to the top of Everest. All of those exciting things. We'll show you about taking blood, measure lactate levels, all of that hands-on experience. In Sports Rehab 1, we will teach you the basics of how to plan a rehab program. So we look at training principles, progression of training, all of those kinds of things. So year 1 is quite hands-on. You will look and start treating patients in semester B with our patient management 1 module, and that could be from a staff member, a student, or one of our professional athletes. So you'll be hands-on very quickly and working in the clinical environment. Also on site, and I'll talk a little bit more about it, we have our commercial clinic, which is down in the sports centre, where we open to the general public. You can actually book out beds in that in year 1 and go down and practice your massage skills or your anatomy skills. We're very, very lucky because that clinic is managed till 8 p.m. at night. So you'll always have either one of our clinical staff members or one of our academic staff members to ask questions to. So you always have that support, not just in the working day, so till 8 p.m. We have a lot of practical exams in year 1 as well as theory exams. We try and encourage your online skills, which is obviously really important right now. But we get you to design websites and use videos demonstrating rehabilitation techniques. We get you to do presentations. Excuse me, we do have written exams as well as MCQs and essays and case studies as well. Excuse me. So in year 2, we have engaging with employability module. So this is your work placement module, and you'll gain 100 clinical hours from this module. So you have the opportunity to work in many different environments and obviously use your soft tissue skills and your musculoskeletal assessment skills as well. So we have links with many different professional clubs here. We're very lucky down here in the Southwest. So we have Plymouth Argyle football team, where you could have the opportunity to work with first team all the way down to academy, both men's and ladies squads. We can arrange placements with Exeter Chiefs, Exeter City, Torquay United, and obviously at university we work with Plymouth Raiders, which is our professional basketball squad. You also have the opportunity to work within the NHS as well. So we run clinics here at Marjon. So we run pain clinics, pre-cancer clinics, well-being clinics. So you have the opportunity to work in a different environment. We also will work with the military as well. So we look after field gun squads and some of our students gain work placement within the military itself. And Plymouth being a military town, we have lots and lots of bases around here. So you can try lots of different things that you like, and try lots of different environments. You have research methods. So in this module, we teach you how to research, which leads on nicely to your dissertation in year 3. So what kind of areas in rehabilitation would you like to look at? Would you like to research in? We teach you how to analyze the data, how to write a literature review. So in this module, your assessments are preparing for your dissertation, so producing a proposal as well as producing a poster presentation as well. We do strength and conditioning, so we teach you some more skills. So we build on the strength and conditioning module in year 1. So we will get you into our strength and conditioning lab, and we talk about really starting the next stage of planning rehabilitation with our athletes. So we look at certain injuries, we look at certain techniques, and rehab programs that you can work on. Patient management 2. We teach you how to use all our fancy equipment in this one. So we look at how to use our ultrasounds. We have therapeutic and diagnostic ultrasounds at the university. We teach you how to use inferential. We teach you how to use laser. We have an anti-gravity machine here, an isokinetic machine. So we teach you all the theory behind these machines, how they work, and obviously we get you hands-on experiencing the using of them within clinic and within lecture time. We have pathology, so we have to teach you about what goes on in the human body when it's injured. We don't have X-ray vision, so we have to understand how tissues heal and what we're doing within rehab and our treatment, that we're enhancing that healing process for our athlete. And then we build on our sports rehab knowledge again. So again, we look at different injuries and how we might integrate some of our rehabilitation protocols within that. Again, really hands-on in year 2. We work with patients. You have the opportunity to shadow year 3 students as well. You have the opportunity to go into our clinics and work with us. So it's really exciting with all the hands-on experience that we do. In year 3, we do clinical experience module. So this, you have to obtain 200 clinical hours, and we split that between our commercial clinic and our external placements. So again, you can try something new. So for example, we've had students go in and work at military, with local rugby clubs, with chiropractic clinics, so lots of different environments that you can go in and work in. The assessment for this is you produce a reflective piece, so you produce like a blog from your 3rd year, explaining kind of how these clinical experiences have enhanced your skills as a practitioner. And then you have a live patient exam. So a patient will turn up and we will assess you from that. Sounds quite scary, but it's not. So we prepare you for this through year 1, year 2 and year 3. Your honours project, you have to produce a 7,500 word dissertation in a research area of your choice. You get given a supervisor who will work with you quite closely on developing your project, kind of carrying out the research and kind of writing it up. I just finished marking our 3rd year projects right now. You know, they're really exciting. We've had students looking at concussion, looking at professional football injuries, looking at kinesiology tape. So you can choose whatever area really excites you to write this project. Patient management 3 and rehab 3, again, we enhance those rehabilitation programs. We look at populations that we might have to adjust our rehab program to. So we look at community health issues, so working with people who are diabetic, who are obese, who maybe have a disability. So we look at how we can change our rehabilitation programs, working with that kind of clientele as well. Again, we build up on your sports rehab experience, and we'll go into more kind of functional movements. And it's quite nice because patient management 3, strength and conditioning, and the sports rehab module all interlink. So you can see the relevance of working with all of those together. Our career is, we work with lots of different professionals as well. We have in patient management 3, we also have biomechanics. So you get to work within our biomechanics lab, and we're very lucky for the equipment we have in there. We've got 3D kinematics, we have force plates, we have EMGs, and we use all of these within rehabilitation. So sometimes if a patient gets injured and we rehab them, sometimes their body will slightly adjust. And I'm sure if you've been injured, limp, or you know, if you've got back pain, your whole posture changes, and that has an impact on kind of your kinetic chain. So we look at kind of making everyone balance again, and how we can do that. And again, you know, we practice with lots of equipment. Biomechanic experts will come in and deliver some of that. So again, very hands-on, very practical course. Our clinical placement opportunities, as I said before, we're very lucky down here. We give you an opportunity to obtain a minimum of 400 hours of clinical experience. I have just marked all my third year's clinical logs right now, and some students were achieving 600 hours. So they really engaged with all the opportunities that we have offered them. Again, we have our commercial clinic, which is open to the public. And in third year, you're put onto rotation on your timetable in that clinic. So you have the opportunity to gain some of your clinic hours on there. We work with Plymouth Raiders basketball squad, so we exclusively look after them. So we deal with all their training, their game days, and all their injury and diagnostic stuff and rehabilitation. So again, you can work with the professional club with from year one, so you can actually go in and observe our other students. We work with Plymouth Storm, so this is our wheelchair basketball squad, and we also work with other disabled athletes. So you can experience all of that kind of different ways in which we plan a rehabilitation program. We also work with local charities, and we cover all local events, so Plymouth Half Marathon, Plymouth 10K. We did a St Luke's Hospice thing where they did a massive climbing thing. So we look after all of that. We do all cycling events on the moors. So we really get involved with the community and look after them as well. In year 3, you do your RFU level 2 pre-hospital care course. So that's an extra qualification, and it's needed if you want to go in and work in professional sport. So we actually bring the RFU down. So 2 of our academic lecturers are our tutors, and then we have another person come down and deliver that course. So that gives you an extra qualification, allows you to go pitch side and deal with, hopefully, no injuries on field. We also look after all our buck squads on a Wednesday. So you have the opportunity to work with them and to look after those. Again, our team is very student orientated, if you like. So we run lots of workshops. So for example, on a Wednesday morning, we will run emergency trauma protocols for you. So we have groups of students and we will go through certain scenarios that could happen. So lots of different things that we will work through with you. I talked through a lot of these work placement opportunities. As I said before, we're very lucky. We have a list of work placement providers, and we will work with you one-on-one to find one that is right for you. So we got professional sport. We work with some national sporting organisations. So one of my students worked with England basketball. We work with most of the local sports clubs down here. So some of our students will work on a Saturday pitch side, or they'll run clinics for these sports teams. And we work with anywhere from under 5s all the way up to our veterans, if you like. We get students in private clinics. So we have lots of different private clinics in this area, in the Southwest. So we can work with you if you want to go and try to work in a private clinic. So before, Plymouth is a military town, so we do work with the armed forces and the military of defence down here, so you can have the opportunity to work in that environment. We have opportunities in the NHS. So again, we run our NHS clinics on site, but I've had students this year that have worked in NHS clinics within the Southwest, looking at lots of different, working in lots of different environments with lots of different people. So really interesting for them. We also work with community-based exercise rehab setting. So that's where a lot of rehab is going in now, is actually stopping the problems before they start. So working with certain groups of individuals, with rehabbing them and obviously giving them lifestyle advice, if you like. When my students graduate, they go into a whole range of jobs. There are lots of jobs coming up in this area right now. 10 years ago, not as much. Now I probably get sent probably about 20 jobs a day within this area, ranging in lots of different environments. And a lot of them are asking for students from BUZZ-RAT accredited degrees. We work with very small class sizes, as I said before. So in year 1, we have a ratio of 16 students to 1 staff. And when we work up to year 3, in commercial clinic, it's normally 1 staff member to 5 students. So there's a nice ratio. That's why we get a lot of one-on-one stuff with you. We can really work with you into improving certain areas or working on some things you may not have understood within lectures. So all academic staff are in clinic as well as our clinic supervisors, so we can really have that input with you and work with you. Every student on the course that's given a personal tutor, and normally you stay with that personal tutor for the 3 years, and we help you develop lots of stuff. So we work with, you know, producing your CVs, working on communication skills, producing action plans about where you might want to work on and what you might need to do. We also work very closely with our future department, and they are great. So my 3rd year students this year have been seeing them for interview practice, for checking CVs, covering letters, and helping apply for jobs. So they're, you know, they really support students and really help students as well. So that's any questions. Obviously, you're going to put them in the box for me, which would be great. There are obviously other live talks that are going on that may be of interest to you, and you can book online as well. So lots of online support about what goes on at the university that can help you and support your time here. So thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sarah. It's so interesting to see how many opportunities and experiences there are actually available through this course. So it's really great to see. I am just going to, can I sit with you for the first question? Here we go. So what is the main difference between this course and the sports therapy course?
Okay, good question. So there is quite a big difference now. So sports therapy will concentrate more on clinic. They're more clinically based, and they don't have the S&C content within their program compared to this new program. So rehab is really kind of, you're really hands-on, you're really getting those patients back to functional, high functional levels. So sports therapists and rehabbers have the same core skills, if you like, so they can both diagnose and treat MSK and rehab, but sports therapy would be more clinically based, while rehabbers are more functional. So they're getting the athletes back into that full functional fitness so they can return to play.
Brilliant. Thank you. I hope that answers your question there. Kelly, if we could come across to you, I'm just really interested to know, why did you choose to study at Marjon?
So I've started on a BSc in sport and exercise science, and then I moved on to a master's in sports rehab. I think the first thing that drew me to Marjon was the small class sizes and the small community. So throughout my undergrad, I never had lectures really more than 20 people. I had big lectures, but then we would always have a seminar afterwards that would be a lot smaller. And then in my postgrad as well, I never really had lectures bigger than 10 or so people, and we always had that one-to-one contact with the lecturers, so a personal development tutor, and the opportunities there in the facilities. So if you're able to go on a guided campus tour, that you get taken around the sports facilities, and as Sarah said, you know, we get to use quite a bit in lectures, but you can use them outside as well. If you need help in rehab, so if you're in the clinic, you can go in there and use that anti-gravity machine, you know, use the S&C suite, use the gym, so you get a whole wide range of facilities right on your doorstep as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kelly. Sarah, if we could come back to you.
Yeah.
So a question here from Lauren. Hi, Lauren. Is to do with the split between theory and practical. So what would you say this course is more, would you say this course is more practical based, exam rather than theory?
Okay, hi Lauren. Yeah, it's kind of an even split. We, as lecturers, even if we go into a theory lesson, we turn it into a practical lesson because we're quite hands-on practitioners. So we do have to have that healthy balance because you do need to have the knowledge to be able to do the practical. But it's more practically based, say that. And with assessments, as lecturing staff, we'll get bored just marking essays all the time. So we have a massive variety of assessments as well. So they, a lot of them are practical assessments, hands-on assessments, as well as doing practical and videoing yourself and putting on websites and all of that. So yeah, we as lecturing staff, we are hands-on. So we do turn lots of stuff into practical. So I would probably say in year one, it's 50-50 is the split. And the split gets bigger as you go into year three. So year two, you have lots of obviously work placement hours. So it probably goes up to 60-40. And then in year three, it's roughly 75-25. So 75 hours practical, 75% practical and roughly 25% theory, because you're in our commercial clinic, as well as doing practical elements within your dissertation. So yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sarah. Lucy, if I could swing across to you, I'm just going to link two questions here for you. So it's to do with the contact hours and what your typical week looks like. Will I have time on this course to study and play sport?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, as the years go on, the contact hours do decrease. So during year one, I think I'm probably in about 4 days. But I say 4 days, like out on those 4 days, it was like 3 hours at a time, maybe. So each day is going to be different. And like I said, as the years go on, your contact hours will drop because you're expected to do more like of your own research at home and obviously do more assessments and practical based things. But yeah, you have Wednesdays off every single week, and that is dedicated for you to take part in sport. And there's all different sorts of clubs that you can join. So make sure you have a look at that and see if there's anything that you do like. If there isn't anything that you like, then you can try and create your own. But there is a vast list of sports clubs that you can join. So there's always going to be time for you to do that. And most teams have dedicated times throughout the week, mostly in the evenings for training as well. So don't be worried that you're going to miss out on that.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lucy. Let me just see if we have any more questions here. So one for Kelly. Let me just grab your screen up there. So it says, I don't know if I want to work with individual athletes or in a team. How many placements am I allowed to do? And will I have the chance to experience both of these routes?
Yeah, so as long as you complete the 400 hours, you're able to do as many placements as you want to. So for 75 hours, I worked with a Bucks team, so a university team, working pitchside. And for 150 hours, I worked within the clinic, so working with cancer patients, back pain patients, and a whole wide variety. So if you're uncertain of what to go into, I thought I wanted to do pitchside stuff to begin with, and I did enjoy that, working with them. However, I done the clinic-based ones and rehabbing with medical conditions. And that was more along my line of what I was enjoying. And then, so you can have a variety. You can change it from year one to year three. Like, you don't have to stick with the same one throughout your whole time.
That's great, thank you. We do have another question here. Sarah, I'm going to ping this one across to you. So this is related to current situation going on in the country around COVID. And it's, will the teaching be different in September due to COVID-19 social distancing measures being on place in campus?
Very good question, and I can answer that because we are working on it as we speak. So we're planning timetables for next year. Yes, there's going to be a slight difference, but I think it's a really positive thing because I think from our planning, students are actually going to get more. So what the staff are doing is 50% of our stuff is going to be online right now. Obviously, that could change when the government restrictions change. So what the staff are doing is they're doing pre-recorded stuff. We've got videos, we've got live stuff. So it's, you know, it's, for me, it's quite engaging, and I'm learning new skills. We are still bringing students in for practicals. So because obviously our course is a practically based course, we're just doing it in a different way. And I think it's a really positive way that we're doing it in. So at the minute, we're only allowed 8 students in our teaching clinic, which is up on main campus. So that's all we're teaching is 8 students due to social distancing rules. And we're actually blocking out your time. So I'll give you an example from a first year module, our anatomy module. You would have an hour theory or 2 hours theory, and then an hour and a half practical each week. What we're doing now is still have the same amount of practical, but we're doing it in a block. So we will teach you, for example, the same set of students for 4 hours. So that kind of takes some of the problems away with cleaning in between and all of those things. And small class sizes, as I said before, we have a maximum of 16, and now it's gone down to 8 at the minute. So I think that's a real positive. Our staff are very well. They're teaching me. I'm the oldest member of the staff, really, teaching me lots of online skills and stuff that they're producing and helping me produce is pretty amazing, and we're really engaging with it. So it's going to look different in September. We all know that, but I think the staff and Marjon are making the best out of this situation. And I look at what my staff are producing and what we're producing, and students are actually getting more and more and more. You know, we have tasks, we have live seminars going on within September. So we're finalising our timetables right now, but it looks, I think we're going to give the students more. Sorry, I sound very excited over it, but I think we're going to give the students a lot more than just a lecture. So yes.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sarah. I hope that answers your question there. We have another one here about the opportunities. Lucy, if I could come across to you. There we go. So there's loads of opportunities and career routes with this course. And as you can see, Lucy's obviously utilised the chance of working with one of our partner teams in the Raiders there with that top. So how can I get help with employment after my course?
So there's lots of things that you can do after, but also during. So we've got a futures team that are based at the university that you can go and visit practically whenever you like. So you can book one-to-one sessions with them. You can talk via email, obviously with the current situation, video call, for example. They can help you with things such as advancing your CV, helping you apply for jobs, helping you look for jobs, so putting you onto different websites that specify particular jobs, for example. For me, I've just literally finished my undergraduate degree yesterday, so that was my last exam, and I've been in contact with Futures for the past 2 or 3 months, and they've been helping me find jobs that are within my area that I'm looking for. So you are in contact with them throughout your degree, but obviously a lot more as the degree comes to an end. But you can also have contact with them for however long you like after the degree. So there's not like a certain cut-off point. You can always get in contact with them via email if you do have any questions or you want some extra support on that sort of thing. So yeah, they are there and they do give you lots of resources to help you out.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Lucy. And it's also, so originally you only had 3 years. I say only, it's huge. You had 3 years of support once you graduate from the employment team, but they have now lifted that. And so when you leave Marjon, you will be supported for the rest of your life, which is fantastic. Kelly, if we could just come across to you for this next question. So what is the unique selling points, or what are the unique selling points rather, for rehab and conditioning? What attracted you to this course?
So to begin with, on my undergrad, I was unsure if I wanted to go into rehab or teaching, coaching, or sport and exercise science based. Through that course, I was able to learn a bit more and worked out that rehab was my focus. What makes it quite good is the amount of placement and as Sarah said before, like the amount of opportunities you could have, I wouldn't have thought of being able to work with the patients I do, working at different hospitals around the southwest. I wouldn't have thought of being able to go in to do that, but they've supported me, gave me the opportunity to do that, and that's given me the drive to know what I want to do when I eventually leave university. Also, I've said it before, but the facilities are one of the best, and you get to use it hands-on. I've used every single piece of equipment in the sports lab. It's not just there for show. You can go in there. There's support as well. As the therapy lab, you have people in there to help you with it. So to just support with if you're unsure on any piece of work outside of the lectures. So yeah, great facilities and opportunities there.
Brilliant, thank you, Kelly. I'm just going to refresh this question bar. So just a reminder to attendees that there is a slight delay, so do keep sending in your questions and they will pop up for us. I'll just have a quick refresh of that one now. Give me a few seconds. Okay, Sarah, if we could just come back to you for one more question. It's just about class sizes. Obviously, Mardron is a rather small university, but how many people would you expect to have in one class?
So before, for theory lectures, sometimes they're shared, so you could have up to 100 people in a lecture for some of them. But just a reminder, even though lots of our stuff is going online, but when it's not, and when we do hopefully go back to some normality, every lecture is recorded. And that is put onto our learning space, so you can watch back and listen to bits that you might have missed. Some lectures and seminars will be very tiny, so we will have anywhere from 5 up to 16 students in there. But in our practicals, because we're teaching such hands-on skills, we want to be able to give feedback to every student and watch every student. So our practical classes are very small. As I said, in year 3, when we work with live patients, there is normally 5 students to 1 academic staff member. So we can really spend time with those students and those patients as well. So yeah, so we do work with quite small numbers, and I think it's just what we do because it's very hands-on. We need to support the students and give them guidance sometimes with those patients.
Brilliant, thank you, Sarah. I'm just going to have one last refresh just to see if anything new comes in. Bear with me a couple seconds. Okay, so I can't see anything else coming through, but that's all right. If you do have further questions, I have just popped in the email address there, so please send them through and we will get back to you. Thank you once again for choosing to join us this afternoon. So as you can see on Sarah's screen right now, there are other live talks that you may be interested in. Again, if you just contact that email address, the visitus at mardron.ac.uk, we can get you booked into them if you just give us a heads up. But in the meantime, please stay safe and do stay in touch.